everyone. This is Michael Gelbart, and I'm at Harbin Hot Springs on Christmas Day. So I'm fortunately in a beautiful sunny sky and warm environment. So whatever that evokes in you. It's Hanukkah as well. Solstice has just passed, new moon, so we've been celebrating all of those here in the hot springs realm. So what I want to share with you is that I'm very dedicated to sharing ancestral stories and facilitating us to share those together in a council or in a collective where we each bring our own lineages. We all have these lineage stories going back in time, in our bodies, in our consciousness, in stories and legends. Some of us have these more explicitly, and many of us have less access to those explicit stories. And implicitly, however, somatically, we can access those stories. And the values of accessing and sharing those stories into a witness field with each other is priceless. We can draw gems together. We bring our treasures, our richness, our wisdom together as we heal trauma, as we access through blockages, somatic blockages, psychological blockages, emotional resistances. So that's the context. And I will share with you today one of my ancestor stories that I've been accessing. We can access through parents, patrilineal, matrilineal lineages, through grandparents, great-grandparents, to be able to actually hear them, feel them, and sometimes speak with them. I speak with my grandparents. I only knew one that lived through the Shoah. Genocide is in my body. My parents both Holocaust survivors. Some of you know that already and have heard me tell these stories. And the healing of that, the liberation through that, in remembering and honoring and celebrating our ancestors, in our dance, in our expressions, in our stories, in our compassion, in our love, in our challenges, in our traumas, all these background stories as we bring those puzzle pieces together can form a much more expansive gestalt and liberate us from many of our maladies, physical, emotional, psychological, relational. And so I will be leading these ancestral storytelling circles. I invite you to join. So I will share a story. My grandma Liba, my dad's mother, I never met her in person. She perished in the Shoah, another word for the Holocaust. And yeah, her heart, Liba means heart, her love, I feel her unconditional love. I speak with her, I hear her, I feel her in my heart. She lives right here. Grandma Liba, she feels to me like unconditional love. And the descriptions of her are that she was the brains of the family. She wasn't educated formally, but she made sure that all her children had an education. Even after the Nazis invaded in the Anschluss, 2-3 days into the invasion, they invaded Klabutsk, the village that the Gelbarts and the Berkowitzes and the Jakubics lived in Poland. And she was very loved and revered. I can still feel my father's love and reverence of her and respect and admiration. She, as I understand, was very affectionate and kind and loving and warm and clever and bright. She made sure that her children had tutors after the Nazis invaded, trying to escape and flee, to protect her children. So her husband, Mordechai, my grandfather, was taken away for being a kosher butcher, which just must have been so devastating for her. So we can feel that trauma, but I feel it more as healing the more I access her love. And I really want you to understand that as the listeners, that when we access compassion, we access love, we thank our ancestors and feel them inside of us in our histories. We remember, we honor them, and they remember and honor us, and we heal backwards and forwards. When her husband was taken away, she was devastated, and I can think of the terror of that time for her. But here we are. Here's Grandma Liba in the story, in the present moment. I thank her. Hey, Grandma Liba, you're with me right now. I'm sharing your story with these wonderful listeners. Her children, my dad and his 3 sisters, all survived and found each other after the war. Mordechai and Liba did not survive. I asked, this is a revealing story, I was going to a play party. I'm a kind of California, playful, ecstatic, wild and warm and extroverted human that brings Jewish renewal, that brings Hebrew traditions into our present moment to revive and revitalize traditions and rituals as well. So I led Hanukkah, new moon, solstice, night before Christmas Eve, water pool ceremony, blessing the Hanukkah candles, blessing Hanukkah and blessing the Shabbat. And it was like 30 plus people. And by the time we went through different waves of the ceremony and the prayers and the songs, we wound up dancing a hora, which is a circle dance in the warm pool. And it was just so much fun. Some people shared that was like one of the most inspiring Hanukkahs. So that's how I like to bring my Jewish ancestry. I'm more of a traditionalist than a religionist. I know a lot and I feel very identified with Jewish identity. So I was going to a play party. It was kind of a second base play party, if you will. And I was laying and relaxing in the afternoon, and I asked Grandma Liba, I said, ancestors, how do you feel about me going to this play party? I talk with them. And my Grandma Liba said, as long as you go with love. So that's the message I have from her. And as I share this story, what do you feel in who was loving in your ancestry? Who do you recall and access? Grandparents, hopefully mothers and fathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, who, when you tap into them, you feel unconditional love. Well, thank you for your attention. I know that our attention is so important and precious. So I want to end the story by saying that I bless us all with accessing these stories and sharing them in witness circles. And whatever evokes in the story, please make comments in the comment thread here. So, all right, all celebrations, liberations, dedications, honoring and healing to us all. Thanks for listening.